Hi, friends. Welcome back. I'm TS, and we're going to talk about new music from legacy bands. All the bands from the 70s and 80s that are still out there putting out music. Some of them have been consistent all the way through, some of them have taken breaks, some of them have been around away for years and years and years and are just now making a sort of a comeback. And let's talk about it. First thing I want to mention is Bruce Springsteen has released his second box set in just the last couple of years. And this one has 7 full albums that were never released, apparently, back in the day. I don't know what time frame they're from, but apparently he was just stockpiling music as much as Prince was or Eddie Van Halen was. I'm sure a lot of those old guys have vaults full of music that they've written. For every 10 songs you hear from a band, if you're a songwriter, you know, for every 10 songs you hear from a band or an artist, they've probably written 100. So sometimes those people just have that stuff all tucked away. And I'd be curious to hear what some of that Bruce Springsteen stuff is. I wonder why he didn't release these albums, or if he just was so backlogged the record company wouldn't let him put it out, like Prince's situation. He just wanted to put out so much more music than they let him do. And moving on, Metallica also has put out a box set of the 30th anniversary of Load. And apparently it's like 7 CDs. It's 250 tracks. And I'm sure there's a lot of demos and a lot of work in progress type of stuff. And I like that kind of thing. If there's a bunch of live stuff, I'm not a big fan of live recordings. But apparently it's all from the Load era session. And they probably got a whole nother one for Reload too. They chose to start with that one because it's, like I said, we're coming up on the 30th anniversary of Metallica's Load. The 50th anniversary of Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti was celebrated. On Record Store Day, they released a replica single of Trampled Underfoot. And apparently it charted at number 6 on some sales chart or something. I think it wasn't the mainstream charts, obviously, but for sales, that's pretty good in this day and age of streaming. Triumph has reunited and is going on tour next year, but they put together a tribute album that has Phil Lex all over it. And he's the guy that replaced Rick Emmett in the 90s when he left, and has come back as the second guitarist and vocalist. And this album has all guest vocalists from other hard rock bands that you know. Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, and Sebastian Bach, and Jeff Keith from Tesla, and Nancy Wilson from Heart, and a whole bunch of other singers that filled in. It's a pretty amazing record. I prefer Rick Emmett's voice on most of that most of that Triumph stuff. But it's cool hearing how Sebastian or who'd I say, Dee Snider reinterprets that stuff with a little bit grittier voice, and then Nancy Wilson's real soft voice works on the song that she sings. Cheap Trick have a new album, and it's been on several top 10 lists that I've seen for the year. So I've listened to a couple of tracks, and it's pretty heavy for Cheap Trick. They're starting to get a lot more of their flowers in recent times. People, admitting that they were big fans of that style, and that it's kind of the precursor of pop punk, really. Poppy, catchy songs, but done with a little more aggressive edge. And new Cheap Trick. Jethro Tull has released their 24th album overall, their third in the last 4 years. And Ian Anderson is apparently thrown himself back into a major creative spurt. He's some sort of fisherman, and he used to just go on tour as Jethro Tull in the summer just to play rock star through the summer. And now apparently he's back into being a full-time musician, and it's always good to see when that happens. Somebody like Neil Young put out an album this year. Actually, I got a little confused with what I was seeing. He might have actually put out 2 records this year. I can't guarantee that, so don't quote me on that. But he's another one that just, since the 60s, has just never stopped just pumping out music. And Styx is another one that I've seen on a lot of people's top 10 year-end lists, and I haven't had a chance to delve into it yet, but it looked pretty interesting. I think Tommy Shaw is back in the band, or is it just being led by James Young? Both of the, what was her name, Benazito or whatever, one of them has passed away, and I think the other one retired, so it's just the guitar player holding the fort down. Dennis DeYoung is obviously never going to come back to that band, but they're still kicking ass. Devo is back with new stuff. Apparently, the one song I heard was kind of quirky and weird. Mark Mothersbaugh has been making movie soundtracks for the last 35 years, so it's cool. They wanted to jump back in playing Rockstar a little bit. Asia's an interesting case. Jeff Downes' version of Asia, all new members. He's the only original member. I think they're signed to Frontiers Records. Picks up a lot of those, like, kind of modern era hair band slash metal bands. And there was another version of Asia by one of their later singers that kind of just took the mantle and the brand and ran with it. But now that Jeff Downes is back with an original member in a thing called Asia, I don't know how that's going to play out with that other guy. I can't remember his name. John something. I can't remember his name. Flea has a solo album out, and I've only heard one song, and he's playing his ass off. I don't know if he seems like the kind of guy that would have a lot of guests and featured artists. I haven't really delved into it hard enough. Alex Lifeson has the second album with his band Envy of None, and I listened to the first one when it first came out a year or two ago, and it's pretty good. It's kind of hard hitting, edgy, not heavy, but hard hitting. Bob Mould, I saw his new album on a couple of top 10 lists. And I also think I saw somewhere that there was a Sugar album out. So Bob Mould's double dipping in 2025. And if he's got the music to put out, good for him. I always liked his sound. I never was a big fan of Sugar, and I never was a big fan of Husker Du. But Bob Mould's solo, his 2 first original albums, and then the one that he put out a few years after that, were all just, I love them, so good. The Lemonheads, Evan Dando's back, and I think, didn't he do solo stuff for a while? I think he's just been gone for quite a few years, so that's kind of interesting that he's popping back up, like late 80s, early 90s alternative singer-songwriter type of stuff. David Byrne from the Talking Heads has been on a creative streak the last couple of years. He does this weird troupe. There's like 20 people on stage and they dance around barefoot and sing his solo songs and sing new songs and sing old Talking Heads songs. And this new album, I listened to a few of the songs. They didn't really grab me. There was a few that were pretty good. They're weird and quirky. It's totally David Byrne style. I just needed to give him a little more time to grow on me. But Garbage has a new album out. They've been on tour. Apparently Shirley Manson's kind of being old man yelling at clouds about a few things. She's gotten on my news radar a couple of times for kind of being a Karen on stage. But whatever. I love them. I'm sure if they decided to put out a new record that it's good. Or else why would they have done it? The Black Crowes have a new record out, and the songs I heard were really good. One of them, I think they had a new album out last year too, because they were supposed to go on tour with Aerosmith before Aerosmith kind of retired because of Steven Tyler's voice. Now that his voice is kind of repaired a little bit, he's been doing some stuff. He was at the Ozzy Black Sabbath Back to the Beginning thing, and he's been doing some stuff with Youngblood, and we'll talk about that in the features and duets video a little more. But back to the Black Crowes. The song I heard, the first single, was kind of they're just underrated for how funky they are. The new stuff is just really good. It's nothing groundbreaking. It sounds like the Black Crowes. It sounds like Run to the Jungle by CCR is what that one song sounded like. But it's cool seeing the Robinson brothers back together. Billy Idol's got new stuff. He's been out there in the zeitgeist pretty heavy the last couple of years. He did a 40th anniversary of, I don't know if it was an official 40th anniversary of Rebel Yell, but he re-released the album with songs that I think were unreleased. I think I said that in another video that I did a year or two ago, that I wasn't sure if those were songs that were new or if they were songs that were from the vaults of that album. But Billy Idol is freaking cool, so he can do whatever he wants. The stuff is really good. It's just got that Billy Idol groove to it. A lot of Brit pop stuff with Oasis reuniting and going on their big tour. A couple of the other bands, Pulp and Suede, both have new music out. Legend Mavis Staples has new stuff out. She has a new album out, and I listened to some of that, and it's, oh my God, it's so good. I saw her at Bonnaroo the time I went in 2007, I think, and it was awesome. I got to see a bunch of people that day, that week, but Mavis Staples, yeah, she's kick-ass. She would be one that I could see Jack White jumping in and producing or doing kind of a Rick Rubin, Johnny Cash type of thing like he did with Loretta Lynn. Sarah McLachlan, I saw, had something new out, and she's kind of become a meme with that song being on the Sad Puppy Dog commercial. But good for her. Foo Fighters have kind of had a tumultuous last couple of years, but they're slowly starting to get new music out. I don't know if they have a whole album, but they put out a couple of songs here and there. Fishbone has a new album out. I just learned that one at the last minute before I started making this video. And then probably the album of the year, at least in this category of legacy bands, and definitely in my top 10 of all albums for the year, Robert Plant, Saving Grace. He continues his trend of cool, like almost Americana, mellow but hot, simmering mellow. And he's really grown into his old man voice, and it's just it's not 1974 Robert Plant, but it's still amazing, and I'm glad I've gotten to grow old with Robert Plant's music. So we'll leave it right there. There's tons of other bands. I probably got at least 100 other bands and 5 or 6 different categories to mention. So please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, and it really helps me out. And it might trigger the algorithm to feed you the rest of my videos when they come out. So stay tuned for that, and let's talk in the comics. Okay. Love you. Bye.